Moving into the other game at that time, America's Game of the Week, Michigan at Oklahoma. In Norman, plus 5.5, over under 46.5, same over under in this game.
Moved.
Yeah, it's going up. It opened at 2.5, I think, and now it's getting closer to 6 as we get closer to kickoff. So intriguing.
That's good.
I guess so. I have some thoughts about John Mateer both ways that might bite me in the butt. But 7:30 p.m. ABC. From a game standpoint, very exciting just because we don't get ABC games really in the Big Ten anymore. So I'm very much looking forward to Fowler and Herbstreit on the call here. Like we kind of, I guess, spoiler for me, my confidence has gone up going into this one after our debut. Not necessarily, like I said, I had a good feeling Bryce would be good, but just seeing it gives you that confidence of like, okay, I don't think he's going to I don't know. Like, he still has a lot to work on, obviously. This is a huge test because we don't know how it's going to look. But, like, if his debut looked worse than I thought, I would be like, yeah, there's no shot here. So I do think we have a shot. We'll start with that. Obviously, like I said, playing less guys on defense should help us. Big question in this game, does their star transfer running back, Jaden Ott, play? Came from Cal last year, got a lot of buzz. He had 1 carry against Illinois State. I think he's still kind of banged up. So that's intriguing to me because I think they're also starting running back against Illinois State got hurt. So I don't know what their running back room looks like, which is going to be a huge factor for them. I'm expecting the Ott kid to play because I'm rooting for Michigan. Of course, their player is going to be back and ready to go. So that's what I'm expecting. Any other leans that you guys have? I have a couple other kind of keys to this, but I'm just curious your guys' thoughts on this one.
I'm expecting Oklahoma to chuck the ball.
Okay. Like
50-54 pass attempts, Grant, this game.
I could see it. A lot of quick hitters, I would imagine.
Solely due to, because like you just said, the running back situation. Now, they did get up over 100 yards last week, but a very bad average of only 3.2 yards per carry.
That's kind of teased me up for
and
one of my...
just think about that, Evan. Boston College was worse against Fordham.
Yeah.
But they're also their transfer quarterback that, I don't know who it was on this podcast, said, I don't know if he's that good. Completed 81.1% of his passes last week.
Well, Grant's about to tell us he's not that good.
Oh.
I think he's good. So I don't want to say he's not good.
I would go in the other direction, saying that he actually is good.
He's good. But I do think I don't know how to phrase it with. Well, no, I'm just going to say it. I think he hasn't really played anyone. This will be the toughest defense he's ever faced too. So that's just flat up. This is going to be his biggest challenge of his career. Washington State basically played a G5 level schedule last year. I think the toughest game they played was Boise State, and he was okay. They played Washington. He was okay. If you look at his game logs versus the best teams he's ever played, much more pedestrian. I think that he gets a little sloppy when he plays. You'll see his mechanics. It's interesting. He does not throw a conventional way, which could be interesting. He's great at scrambling, so that's one thing that really could wreck us. But then again, I think, like, is he scrambling well because he's playing lesser competition and he can out-athlete people? In my gut, if he dances around us like a Thomas Castellanos, that's on us. But I'm very curious to see what his running game looks like because he runs for like 800 yards a year. Like, he is a scrambling quarterback as well. My biggest fear would just be their skill players, Deion Burks of the world, like kind of having their way with our secondary, right? Because I still think, in my mind, Michigan's cornerback depth is the biggest concern on the defense. But I'm telling you what, Evan pointed out, it was over 100 yards, but it was a 3.2 clip, and I watched the highlights of that game. Their offensive line got 0 push versus Illinois State, which is just, I mean, that opened my eyes up where, like, hey, things can happen here. Yes, Alex?
I was just going to say, to counter that, I was not overly impressed with Michigan's D-line, and other Michigan fans said the same sentiment, that they did not feel that the D-line looked very good, so be interesting to see if they can take advantage of it. Oklahoma offensive line, because Oklahoma's offensive line is not very good. It was very bad last year. It's not any better this year, is what I heard.
I don't think Michigan, I mean, I have to look at the numbers. New Mexico didn't really run the ball on us. Well, not that I would expect them to, but they maybe, like, from a, eye test of Graham and Grant, you realize they're not playing anymore. But New Mexico ran 28 times for 50 yards, 1.8 a carry. So I don't they didn't run the ball on us. And I don't think Oklahoma is. And I think that's exactly what we need to happen. It's got to be a one-dimensional game where Mateer does throw 50 times, but it's going to be about tackling in space because they're going to try to dink and dunk it around the yard, basically run by passing with screens. And we just got to be ready for that. You got to have open field tackling. It can't be like the Texas game of last year where like we're missing tackles and then they break a bubble. They break a tackle on a bubble and then they score like Terry McLaurin versus the Lions. Can't have stuff like that. You got to rally to the ball. And when they do try to set something up, this is the game when your name's on your defensive line, the Derek Moores, the Rayshon Bennies, Barham when he comes back, TJ Guy have to make plays. Like I need to see more of them. TJ Guy did have a cool pick, but we need to see some sacks. You need to contain this kid. Like you have to dominate that point in the game because I think their D-line's solid. So I'm not going to say we're going to run the ball all over them. That would be what I would want to do. I don't want to see Bryce have to throw more than 25 times. I would like to manage the game on the ground and have Justice Haynes run for 110 yards. I think that might be asking a lot, but that's where I'm at with it. I do expect Bryce to probably have some sort of turnover in this game. It will happen at some point. It probably will happen this week. And then also schematically, my key would be, seems like John Mateer has a lot more success throwing between the numbers, like kind of like Jared Goff on in-breaking routes is where he thrives. So try to take that away, make you make throws outside the numbers. Because I think the receivers, while good, they don't have like a true X receiver that I saw. So you might have a better chance at 50-50 balls than like their in-breaking digs where you just have no chance.
I think I'm from a Michigan standpoint, I would be more concerned with the offense moving the ball. I mean, Venables obviously knows defense. Oklahoma has, in terms of talent, like I'd say these teams are damn near equal in talent. So I don't think it's going to be like
11th and 15th in the country.
It's not like, walk off the bus and you're like, holy shit, Michigan's way better. Oklahoma's way better. So it'll ultimately just come down to like schemes, play calling, and, what quarterback do I trust more in this game? Obviously, I think Bryce Underwood has more talent, but I also think Oklahoma's skill players and their offense is set up more to have more success, probably with a quarterback that hasn't played a lot of big games, but a quarterback that's a lot more experienced, who's throwing to better receivers versus, Michigan's quarterback throwing to a tight end pretty much every time because the receivers aren't very good.
Big game for McCulley. Big chance for him to. He had like three or four catches, and big chance for him to let's see a deep ball. We didn't see a deep ball. Maybe Samaj sneaks past the defense. We need to see something downfield.
Not a Samaj guy. Never will be. Too small. Makes a lot of mistakes. Runs his mouth. Not a fan. It'd be interesting. I don't know. I mean, if I had to pick a team, I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. But if I had to pick a team that got blown out, I would assume it would be Michigan because Oklahoma just pass it all over the place. And I think Bryce Underwood's capable of passing it all over the place. I don't think Michigan's receivers are capable to keep up with that.
The separation, it'll be interesting. Yeah, I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, how this game would go is Michigan could establish the run and win. Yeah, and you wouldn't even have to worry about Bryce. That's just the way to do it.
Chew clock and do it the way you did it last year. That's how I would want to play it. But it's nice having Bryce Underwood as an option if you go down and you got to throw the ball.
Yeah, it was nice to see us able to do a 2-minute drill, something we couldn't do all of last year unless it was Khalil Mullins breaking off a 75-yard run versus USC. So it was jarring to see. That's part of the reason the expectations or the hype got high, just because we couldn't even throw a forward pass last year. So it is a 180. I'll let you guys go first on your predictions.
Only because it's on the road. It's my only reason why. And I think that whole lingering, Oklahoma upset Alabama last year. I know a different Alabama team. I think that's the only reason why back of my head says go Oklahoma. I would say if this was at Michigan, I think I would like Michigan in the situation. But I think Brent Venables might be a little too seasoned, too veteran there on the defensive side of the ball for Oklahoma where they need their strength. I like a super close game. I'm thinking, Grant, hold on to your butt cheeks, 21-20 type of game. I don't see how they blow them out unless your secondary just falls apart, Grant, and Mater completes 40 of 50 passes. Because like you said, I think that Michigan is going to try to establish the run, chew clock, play a smaller game, and be super tight, low scoring. I got Oklahoma winning barely 21-20.
I think that in the same boat as Evan is that, but mainly because Oklahoma, like as a program, like they absolutely have to win this game.
The desperation factor.
Like they
It means a lot more to
win
them
this
than
game.
does right
This is
us right now.
everything on the table for them,
Brent
and
Venables
Michigan's kind of
hot.
playing. Now that could benefit Michigan because Michigan's playing with house money. Like if we're being honest, most people are not expecting Michigan to win, at least from the state of Michigan, Big Ten. I would say most people expect Oklahoma to win. Michigan's breaking the quarterback. This game doesn't even have to be one for Michigan to achieve their goals this season. Oklahoma has to win. Brett Venables is getting fired if he doesn't. Like, it's a disaster in Norman if they lose. So, desperation factor, I'll just give it to Oklahoma. But close game, we'll go. I think there's going to be more points. We'll go 28, 31-28. Michigan, Bryce Underwood throws a pick with 31 seconds left, going for it all.
Hold on to your bus even more, Grant.
Went out slinging.
Yep.
Yes.
Slinging.
Tip a drop pass, by the way. Drop pass pick.
That's not good. I'll stay on the theme. I think it's going to be very close. I think if you were gambling, I think I would take Michigan with the points if it stays above 5. Even if it got to like 6.5, I would jump on it. I do think it's going to be tight. I do agree with where if it did get kind of wonky out of hand, it's probably Oklahoma running away with it, winning by like 14-17, just because there's some defensive breakdowns. But I do have confidence that Wink is in his second year. This is not like a Sarkisian game where that was the second game ever in college and he just got kind of dummied by the no huddle type thing. So he got to have the boys ready for that. I am very interested in terms of matchup is Venables versus Chip Lindsey. Chip Lindsey, first year at Michigan, but a veteran of college football, has seen a variety of defenses. So I would like him to have some sort of competent looking game plan, kind of using Oklahoma's aggressiveness against him. Kind of like how Ben Johnson would do it to the Vikings, where like, you're going to over blitz us. We're just going to run a nice little draw up the middle with Gibbs and he's going to hit one for 15. Like I need to see some stuff like that where it looks like we know what we're doing. In terms of specific predictions, I do think Justice Haynes has a little revenge game here from when they lost to Oklahoma last year. I think he runs for like 100 yards and has a good game. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to win, but doing the classic week of thing where to start the season, I said this was a loss. I get blinded by the throw, the narratives, Sharon's return to his alma mater, Jason Barham coming back in the second half and fucking shit up, as CJ Guy said. Could be suspended this game. Suspension. The team knows they're not going to get to see him for the next 2 weeks, so they're going to leave it all on the line this week for him and Norman to win. So I'm going to go Michigan in a very close one, 24-23. John Mateer is driving, throws a pick over the middle. He leaves it behind the receiver. Our safety, whoever it is, picks it off. I do think, spicy take, Bryce throws at least one pick. Mateer actually has 2 interceptions in this game. And Michigan pulls out a 1-point win on the road. And then the sky's the limit. Then it's Looney Tunes.
So based on what we said, Michigan will probably get blown out and Michigan State will lose on a game-winning field goal, and we'll have a very sad podcast next week.
Probably. Maybe.
Great. Excited.
Last game,
content.